Sup, my fellas, don't forget to leave feedback and enjoy the story. Our boy began to release energy, creating a powerful golden tornado in the middle of the sea, which started expelling water in all directions. Lu Sheng's body was surrounded by a powerful golden martial energy. He clenched his fists tightly and a confident smile appeared on his face. With a confident expression, he asked Zhao Jai to prepare to receive the attack. Lu Sheng's energy was capable of making even the strongest feel fear, but Zhao Jai remained calm, and with a serene expression began observing him silently without saying a single word. Lu Sheng spread his legs and prepared to attack, making the energy become more intense. He started looking at the ground and decided to concentrate the 10 immortal cells in his legs. After doing this, he gained momentum and made a great leap into the sky, disappearing from sight. At first Zhao Jai stood still without doing anything, trying to understand what had just happened. His expression changed and his gaze was full of surprise. He was shocked to see our boy's speed. While he was distracted, in the blink of an eye, Lu Sheng appeared beside him, and with a murderous and vengeful look, clenched his fist tightly, making intense flames appear. Zhao Jai was left open-mouthed and with a confused expression began to wonder where Lu Sheng had gone. When he realized it, Lu Sheng's fist was already in front of his face. Zhao Jai was speechless. He couldn't help but feel fear, not knowing how Lu Sheng was capable of moving at such high speed. Zhao Jai didn't even have time to react, and using all his strength, Lu Sheng delivered a strong punch to his face. He concentrated the power of immortal cells into his fist, creating a powerful magic circle that unleashed a mighty golden blast against Zhao Jai's body. Lu Sheng's attack was so powerful that Zhao Jai could do nothing, and his body was sent flying backward. Our boy stood silently watching, not knowing if this guy was still alive or not. After receiving the attack, Zhao Jai's face began to shatter into pieces like glass, his eyes filled with rage. He started staring intently at Lu Sheng, asking how he had dared to do this. While Lu Sheng's body was surrounded by a golden aura, he clenched his fists, returned the gaze, and with a serious expression prepared to attack again. Zhao Jai's body began to disintegrate. In reality, this body was only the divine body he had in the human world. As his body was slowly disintegrating, he began to stare at our boy with a furious gaze, clenched his teeth tightly, and couldn't help but get angry upon seeing that his divine body had been destroyed by Lu Sheng so easily. Lu Sheng stood firm and began to observe Zhao Jai, without deactivating his power, knowing that the battle was not over yet. The face of the Marshal of the East was full of happiness. With a proud smile he revealed that Lu Sheng was the greatest hope of the army. Zhao Jai's divine body disintegrated into pieces and fell into the sea, while on the other side, his spirit remained intact. While our boy's body was surrounded by evil energy, he began to observe Zhao Jai with a serene expression and clenched his fist. Now that he had destroyed the shell, it was time to destroy the bird. Just then, the sky filled with gray clouds, and not long after, it began to rain, and Lu Sheng decided it was time to massacre martial saints. The expression of the marshals changed, the eyes of the Eastern Marshal filled with confusion. He turned towards the others and asked them what Lu Sheng had just said. The Central District Marshal started observing him with a surprised expression and mentioned that Lu Sheng wanted to kill the martial saint. Upon hearing this, the other marshal couldn't help but smile and feel excited. Lu Sheng's words created a great stir. All the soldiers began talking among themselves. The black-haired man was speechless. He turned towards the others and asked if Lu Sheng was really going to exterminate the martial saint. The blue-haired man started observing our boy with a confused gaze and explained that there was no way Lu Sheng could say something like that. The bald man intervened and explained that Lu Sheng had already known for some time that the Supreme Martial Saint would come, and he had even prepared himself to face him in battle. They couldn't believe he had actually managed it for real. The divine body of Zhao Jai completely disintegrated, and the sky filled with black clouds. Everyone's attention was fixed on Lu Sheng. The bald man explained that this was an unprecedented feat. The martial path had prospered for 300 years. There had been killings and adversities of all levels, but never before had a battle between a level 8 warrior and a level 9 warrior been seen, with the gap in levels being as vast as heaven and earth. Despite hearing this, our boy stood still without losing his composure. The Eastern Marshal began to observe Lu Sheng with a proud gaze and, with a confident smile, revealed that Lu Sheng was capable of surpassing the difference in level and defeating the Martial Saint. While he was focused on trying to think about what to do next, the eyes of the Central District Marshal filled with seriousness. He clenched his fist, turned toward him, and explained that they could still fire, and although it wouldn't be much help, they needed to show their determination and assist Lu Sheng. The other marshals remained silent, not knowing if it was a good idea. The soldiers were filled with determination, clenched their fists, and began to smile, thinking that the marshal's idea was good. Some agreed, but others did not. The man wearing a helmet turned toward them and couldn't help but feel somewhat confused. The Eastern Marshal made a decision. He extended his hand toward Zhao Jai and with an angry expression revealed that the Dragon Kingdom's army had bowed its head for too long, and now it was time to rise up and fight. He gave the order for everyone to fire and cursed Zhao Jai to go to hell. Upon hearing the order, the army's ships fired hundreds of missiles, which filled the sky and headed toward the martial saint. Now that the shell had broken, Zhao Jai's true form manifested. He began to observe how the missiles were approaching, and with a lost look he remained silent. He could not believe that the army was rebelling against him. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of missiles appeared above him. But instead of trying to dodge them, he stayed still. Our boy who was next to him couldn't help but feel happy to see that the army was helping. Just then, Zhao Jai's hand began to emit an intense aura. He made a gentle movement and raised his hand. He used his powers and extended his hand toward the army, making a powerful barrier appear around his body. The missiles made a 360-degree turn and changed their target, now aiming at the army's ships. The missiles began to hit the ships, creating small explosions and causing severe damage to the structures. The explosions started to massacre the crew members of the ships. Lu Sheng, who was lost in his thoughts, lowered his head and began to look at the ground. Zhao Jai's eyes filled with emotion. With a proud smile, he mocked our boy, reminding him that they had all died because of his ignorant resistance. Lu Sheng began to stare at Zhao Jai with an angry gaze and explained that they were warriors. They were the backbone of the army and do not fear facing enemies. Despite being furious, Lu Sheng remained calm and with an arrogant expression said that someone like Zhao Jai, who didn't even dare to show his true face to seek revenge, would never understand this. Lu Sheng's eye began to shine, consumed by rage. He lunged at Zhao Jai and prepared to attack, revealing that he was just a turtle hiding its head. Zhao Jai began to watch as little by little Lu Sheng was silently approaching, not knowing what to do now. Consumed by the thirst for revenge, Lu Sheng launched a chain of punches towards Zhao Jai. He put his arms in front of his face, clenched his fists tightly, and began to block the attacks. He decided not to stand idly by doing nothing. Zhao Jai got angry and began to counterattack, asking Lu Sheng not to be so arrogant. The punches of Lu Sheng and Zhao Jai began to collide with each other. The difference in level was almost unnoticeable. Using all his strength, Zhao Jai tried to hit Lu Sheng, but our boy put his hand in his pocket like a Chad, moved to the side and effortlessly dodged the attack. Seeing this, Zhao Jai was confused. He clenched his teeth tightly and couldn't help but feel furious upon realizing that Lu Sheng could use killing intent perception and the Four Realms body technique. While he was trying to figure out how Lu Sheng had learned these techniques, our boy took advantage of him being distracted to attack. Once Zhao Jai turned around, Lu Sheng's fist was already next to his face. Seeing this, his eyes filled with surprise, leaving him in shock. He didn't have time to react, and Lu Sheng gave him a strong punch on the cheek, causing him intense pain he had never felt before. Zhao Jai put his hand on his cheek and realized that he had good skills, so he couldn't kill him without using his true strength. Lu Sheng, who was standing in front of him with clenched fists, remained silent. Zhao Jai's eyes filled with emotion. He clasped his hands, making flames appear around his body. With an evil smile, he began to gather all his divine power in his hands. At that moment, his hand transformed into a powerful energy, and not long after, the golden spirit of a powerful warrior with a ring on his back emerged. Compared to it, Lu Sheng seemed like a simple ant. Inside was Zhao Jai. His eyes were full of joy. With a confident smile, he asked our boy to try running away again. Upon seeing the powerful spirit, all the marshals were in shock and could not help but feel fear. The Eastern Marshal was left speechless upon witnessing the enormous spirit, realizing that it was the perfect fusion between martial spirit and physical body. This type of divine technique was only reflected in mythology. In reality, it was the true foundation of a level 9 martial saint's power. His eyes filled with fear, putting him on high alert. He began to observe Lu Sheng and could not help but panic, thinking that Zhao Jai was a bastard. Even for higher level warriors, to kill enemies en masse they relied on doing the work by hand. And no matter how much energy they had, their spirit could not extend hundreds of meters. He realized that Zhao Jai had drawn out all the strength with which mortals revered him. His divine power was so immense that he could crush Lu Sheng's spirit until killing him, a disgraceful act. Despite being afraid, the marshal of the central district tried to remain calm, but drops of nervous sweat appeared on his face. With a nervous expression, He revealed that this was the last card that the Saint of War had up his sleeve. They had to find a way to protect Liu Shang or else he would end up dead. Upon hearing this, the martial saint began staring intently at Liu Shang and an evil smile appeared on his face. He was confident he could kill our boy. Zhao Jai used his power to control the spirit, causing a giant hand to begin descending upon Liu Shang. Instead of trying to dodge it, he stood still, thinking about what to do now. Many would have assumed defeat and lowered their heads. But Liu Shang was different. His eyes were full of hope and a smile appeared on his face. He couldn't believe that Zhao Jai was trying to be Superman. Liu Shang lowered his head and with a lost look began to think. Before, he used to worry about the future, constantly analyzing and solving things. But now he realized how foolish he had been. Liu Shang's eye began to shine and release the internal hatred he felt. He extended his hands to the sides and entered the state of God of War, unable to help but smile, thinking it was exciting to cheat. The spirit of Zhao Jai manifested and transformed into a powerful deity. The hand of the spirit was above Liu Shang. Zhao Jai was ready to send him to the other world. Liu Shang stood still and took a breath. He put his hand in front and his body began to emit an evil energy, similar to demons. With a piercing gaze, he used the initial style of the empty slash, and then he used the technique called immediate decapitation. He moved his hand quickly, and a powerful slash cut Zhao Jai's spirit body in half. The body of the martial saint was sent flying backward, and his mind filled with confusion and fear. He couldn't help but clench his teeth tightly and feel rage. He couldn't believe that Liu Shang had defeated him in his divine form. His eyes filled with rage, and his gaze fixed on Liu Shang. A question came to his mind. He didn't know exactly what level of strength he had. Liu Shang turned his head toward him, and with a calm and arrogant gaze mentioned that it was difficult to explain it to such a weak martial saint like him.